Guys, you have a very important person today. We have the CEO of Dalmia Healthcare with us today. Let me introduce him formally. His name is Manish Nigam. He is a business leader with almost 25 years of experience in the pharmaceutical, healthcare, nutraceutical industry. He's managed business involved in OTC, B2B, B2C, and institutional sales of branded generic formulation ingredients, which includes food and feeding additives and APIs to pharmaceutical, nutraceutical, food and beverages, wellness, biotech, FMCG, poultry, aqua, dairy, companion animal, and veterinary companies. He's experienced in people leadership, financial management, strategic planning, business alliances, change management, project management, corporate governance, marketing, branding with a focus on driving dramatic growth and aligning business turnarounds. With over 25 years of track record of delivering consistent, profitable growth with an effective strategy to expand product portfolio, market presence, market penetration, and improve quality of revenue. He's also worked on intelligent customer insights. He's built up startups and turned around laundering businesses. He's recognized as an executive with a combination of vision and result orientation. Creatively resolves challenges and inspires team alignment through clarity of purpose and collaboration. He has a strong focus on new opportunities, innovation in business model, partnership opportunities, and continuous improvement in system and processes, and has significantly improved the customer employee satisfaction levels in various companies that he's worked for. Mr. Nigam, may I really welcome you to this forum, and I'm sure these young budding future managers and CEOs would love to hear from you on what's happening in the pharmaceutical industry, which is, I'm sure, is in the news today for all the right reasons. And I know a lot of them, I'm sure, are willing to work for a pharmaceutical company in the next couple of years too. And I'm sure that they would all love to hear from you. All the way, all over to you, Mr. Nigam.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The management of BSP, the faculty, especially Mr. Rajesh and Alpaji. It's always a pleasure to connect with the academia and speak to students and share my experience and learn from you and always stay connected. So really, thanks for this session, and I'd like to make it more enjoyable and interesting for you. I have some few slides put together so that you have some visuals and some interesting facts on the screen. Let me say, yes, yeah, I have reasonably good experience, 25 years of working with many organizations, length and breadth of healthcare. Healthcare is not just pharma, but it goes beyond. It has a full network, hospitals, device companies, pathology, diagnostic companies, pharmaceuticals, and they all get affected. One affects another. I'll try to give you that flavor maybe today, how it's affecting this situation. Maybe can I request Alpaji to give me the screen? Can I share some presentation?
Yes, sir. I have made you the co-host, so you can share your PPT.
Okay. I believe you'll be seeing my screen PPT with.
Yes.
Is it on?
Yeah, we can.
Is it on the presentation mode yet? Or?
Yeah, it's on the presentation mode. You just need to go on the slideshow. Yeah. There you are. You're all set to go. Yeah.
So 2020 with the events of things, yes, it becomes a very transformational year for everybody. But for healthcare, it's very, very interesting. It's a healthcare issue which is bringing this whole transformation. And even the healthcare industry is not completely gaining out of it. It is also losing. And this is what is interesting. And I would like you to understand that even in the given situation, which a healthcare industry must have wished for. Can there be a disease and then there will be a lot of business, a lot of revenue? It has not happened that way. So let's see what has happened. To start with, this is what when I say healthcare industry, this is the whole play. Healthcare facilities, which you know, hospitals, clinic, nursing homes, and all. Medical tourism. This is very good for India. You may have heard people coming to India for surgeries and treatment. Medical devices. A lot of devices are used. Seen around hospital and diagnostic labs, which is a big business. Healthcare IT. None of the device, none of things, apps or can work without the IT platform. Diagnostic pathology labs. Now, I think most of us are well versed with COVID tests. So, lab, importance of a lab, and most of the diagnosis is done here. Insurance. Sometime back, it used to be a very small part of population which was covered by insurance, but now with a lot of private as well as the government programs, more and more insurance cover is mandatory for a good healthcare. Pharmaceuticals. This is easy. This is the medicines which we have. Monitoring devices. This is a small business, but this is again becoming very, very big, which means starting from a very simple monitoring device like the temperature. Now you must have seen that temperature heat guns, where you can measure the temperature from a distance, to diabetic monitoring devices at home. BP monitoring devices, you must have seen some of your parents and elderly family members using such kind of devices now around you. Despite the current situation being healthcare issue, some part of this industry is under a negative impact or under stress. And let me talk about the positive side. The positive impact for the part of industry is, yes, suddenly the government, everyone is spending much more on the healthcare infrastructure. Government, many organizations have realized that we don't have enough hospitals, beds, ICUs, ventilators. So a lot of spending is going to happen. The industry will boom for this part of it. Even the safety gaps. So you may have not seen earlier medics in PPE gears, a PPE gear or a mask or a hand gloves were only considered in a OT, operation theater. Rest, everyone was carefree and they never had such kind of safety facility. Now this is becoming a must and it will continue to be a must. Telehealth, suddenly, we would have seen government has approved and they brought a bill and approved that yes, telehealth is recognized. It is now official. Telemedicine earlier was not officially recognized. Digital health, I was talking about the devices, and I will tell you more about what is digital health in coming slide. But this is booming because this is online, this is from a distance, and this will continue to be there once people get comfortable with it. Increase in a lot of hygiene things like the spend on sanitizers. Suddenly, industry of sanitizers and disinfectants have boomed. They have put money, and this is going to be there because now everyone has realized that infections will be there, maybe COVID, maybe something else. Best way is to maintain good hygiene. Lastly, the one part of the industry which is doing very well is preventive. So people are going for preventive check. The moment they have temperature, they go for a check, and this will change. This has changed the habit. This has changed the whole understanding of diseases, and this will continue to improve this part of the industry where people will go more for preventive diagnostic tests and treatment. Treatment can be people consuming more of the immune booster medicines. A lot of things now people have started consuming for prevention. They understand that okay, my immune system will be strong if I am good at nutrition, if I am eating good things. The part of industry which is not doing well and has been affected largely, and maybe it will take time to recover, is You would have heard a lot of elective procedures, which is by choice. You used to go to hospital for many simple surgeries, something which can be delayed, but still one used to prefer and get it done, like dental problems, like eye checkups. So these are elective procedures. The sale is the whole business is right now gone. But even in coming days, this will continue to be a hesitation, and there will be alternate things which may come up, which I'll talk to you about the rest part of the discussion. Imaging equipment, there are heavy equipments actually, in the hospital, which hospitals used to buy and to spend a lot. This continues to be a fixed cost. Now hospital will have to bear because there will be decline in business. Right now, the industry was growing by a good 5.3%. Now the whole healthcare industry is coming down to 3.6 or even less. Actually, in the last few months, it is 0.2%. So you can understand a lot of this has suddenly gone down. Medical tourism, I told you, has gone down. Doesn't look like it will come up for a long time because every country is now thinking about making their own healthcare infrastructure good. Why should so people have to travel to another country to get a disease treatment? Inpatients, outpatients, this is like patients coming in for surgeries, or inpatient, outpatient are people coming to the OPDs. It is quite now visible that people will anyway try to avoid going to hospital or places where they can get infections, or they can get uh, by touch or by breathing in the same air. So such visits will be much more now selective and less compared to what it was earlier. Overall profits of the industry will definitely go down because now there is suddenly a cost of this hygiene which has come, and it is not a small cost. So you can understand the cost of PPE kits at every examination means a 500 rupees kit has to be used every time, a mask and all that amount of sanitizers and disinfectants an institution or has to do is quite significant. It's not a small cost. And nobody can expect that this cost can be passed on. It has to be absorbed. Part of it eat away the profits of whatever part of healthcare industry you are. So these are the plus and minuses. With this background, there will be a new normal also for the healthcare industry, which will continue to be there, and it has started shaping. It will shape over a period of time. The new normal one, the telehealth. This is telemedicine, if you may call it, but this is going to be big. Already there are e-pharmacies. There are many such apps who were offering medicines online, but now they are also collaborating and going to offer you a medical advice and good medical advice. So you can get a medical advice online from your neighborhood doctor. There are many companies now you'll see going to come up. This will, of course, then take away the share of the mainstream healthcare model where people used to visit hospitals and clinics. So simple advices, I think it will be more on the electronic side, on the online side. Yes, it needs a physical examination, a physical examination by the doctor, then yes, you may have to still visit, but many things it will move to this platform of telehealth. Just to check, is it everything fine? Am I audible? You can respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, thank you. The second bit, this is, I'm sure you must have seen that virtual care. Now, even in serious case like COVID, they're saying don't come to the hospital. Please be there. Please be at your home, and we will provide you everything. Which means there are things which can be set up at your home. There can be virtual calls where they can still monitor you. They can still understand whether you need something like like you must have heard oxygen levels are very critical. So oxygen monitoring devices are being given to people at their home. That please don't come, be at the hospital, be at your home, be at your convenience, isolate yourself. Just keep telling us what are the levels oxygen. So this is interesting. Again, yes, you may understand the impact will be hospital occupancy will definitely go down. Some other businesses will go up, which is all such monitoring devices. Like if you can have your oxygen level monitoring at home, you are actually uh, those sales, those industries will go. Some industries will affect. In if you see in what I said earlier, telemedicine, virtual care, the basic platform in all this will be IT. Here you need very good technology of you of course need a good bandwidth of where we can communicate. This all data can be transferred. A cloud-based solution where everything can be integrated. So IT, you will see in all this discussion, which I'll show you, many places IT will become a kind of foundation for most of the changes which are going to come. All the new normals which are going to come. Domestic manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, devices, healthcare, most of the hospital, if you go around and see the devices are imported. Not only the devices imported, their parts, their consumables, most of the things are imported. And like we mentioned, most are imported from China. And now with this situation, everyone has understood that it is not about this time, it can happen again. And we need to be more independent. And that's what the Prime Minister also says. We need to be self-reliant. Domestic manufacturing is being encouraged by many ways, by many commercial laws, taxation things which are being enabled for manufacturers to set up. And you would have seen a lot of companies have immediately repurposed their manufacturing. Repurpose means they were earlier manufacturing automobiles, and suddenly they said, "Yeah, now we'll manufacture ventilators." Mahindra did it, Ford did it, Maruti Suzuki is doing it. And those are extreme. There were distilleries. Distilleries suddenly started manufacturing sanitizers. So that is interesting. Good encouragement from the government, and this is also going to be there. You will see a lot of domestic manufacturing companies, good opportunities, and we will be not only being self-sustainable, but maybe India would be a center where we will be exporting. Another new normal would be earlier. Everyone thought that, okay, communicable disease, infections like flu and all is fine. Diseases will come and go, and this doesn't need to be too much worried about. There are antibiotics, have it 4-5 days, and you're fine. Let us focus on non-communicable disease, which are NCDs, which are lifestyle problems, diabetes, hypertension. These are the problems. And with this event, this pandemic, now people realize, no, those are fine. We can live with it. Here, this can completely eliminate this. So good part of it is that there is a realization that no communicable diseases you cannot underplay. Prevention of communicable diseases is also possible. Focus on wellness, health, your good nutrition, immune boosters, vitamins. This is, I think, everyone is talking about. And if you're healthy, you are least affected from communicable diseases. You have to be alert. You can prevent it. So those kind of products, services, education, you can see will be coming. Preventive care will become a central way where even a doctor would be talking about how you can prevent rather than, because treatment, you cannot always come out with the vaccine, and these viruses or bacteria will keep mutating, they will keep coming to you. But the best way is to learn how to prevent them. So this will be another industry or part of things which will come in. Diagnostics, this is a big industry. Again, here the element will be to prevent. There are diagnostics like, I'm sure you must have heard of lipid profile test. You can check your cholesterol level. So that's a good preventive test for cardiac patients. If you know you're not having high cholesterol, you may not end up having heart disease. Or can you check your BP level? So these are preventive diagnostics. And similarly, in infections also, if you get your blood report, your WBC counts, and there are many ways you can markers which will tell you, are you getting exposed, or did you in your last visit got exposed to an infection? You if you take a prevention earlier, it is better. So those kind of diagnostic services, point of care devices, which means you don't have to go to a lab, you don't have to call somebody from Lal Path and all. It is simple, in your neighborhood, in the pharmacy, or at your home, if you can afford. There are simple devices which can help you do that. Simple, transportable, portable things. Like I mentioned, a blood glucose meter is good enough to diagnose whether you have your diabetic levels are controlled or not. Clinical trials, you must have heard everyone pushing for quick vaccine and then or quick new drugs for COVID. And here the industry realized that our protocols of clinical trial were so rigid that we cannot respond to an infection in 6 months or 12 months. What has this led to is a new drug development way, much more faster, much more cheaper, so that we can develop a drug when it is required. The whole clinical trial, which were very done in a traditional way in one center, patients being recruited, now it is being all done virtually. So I can volunteer as a patient for any clinical trial happening worldwide, and I can be here, being tested if I volunteer and if I want to. Earlier, that was not possible. There was many rigidity in the protocols that the person has to be in the center where the trials are going. So this is going to change. Again, the undercurrent here, the basic foundation, IT platforms, which are going to enable the virtual clinical trials, where the patients can be monitored even from a distance. Healthcare IT, which I've been mentioning, this will go to a complete new level. Those of you who have interest in IT can see big boom in healthcare IT. Healthcare IT is all digital things you see, wearable gadgets, that wristwatch which has come, which used to tell you how much you have walked. Now they are going to tell you how much is your oxygen level, how much is your heartbeat, what is your BP, everything. So it will have great sensors. Already it was there, but it is now going to be commercialized and brought to a cost where everyone can afford. It will be synced to health apps. It can be synced to your physician. Suppose you are a cardiac patient and you are at a risk, your physician can always get an alert if your heart pulse is decreasing, increasing, or whatever. And all this information will be integrated. Right now, a lot of medical reports were in black and white or sitting in one computer of a particular hospital, and that the lab report was with the lab agency. This is not all integrated. What is going to happen is, the beauty of integration is that then this information can speak, and then some kind of artificial intelligence can predict that what is going to happen, or what you have been missing, what kind of visits you have been. Last, from a business management point of view, with people like you guys who are going to come into business and who will be part of the management. The learning, this is not only for healthcare, but I'll stick to the healthcare, is when you're designing a business and when you're designing an organization structure and when you have protocols or SOPs, how good is it and how good are you in business agility? Agility means, can you quickly adapt? Can you change to what has happened? Do you have work protocol? Everything has to change. Like if work from home for many companies took long time because they have never given this kind of infrastructure, the tools, the laptops, many things. They're not even clear. How do we monitor the attendance or many things? So, but many amongst us were very, very fast, very quick. The business agility, they change their business model, they change their production, they change their kind of skill sets are required. training, talking, meetings. Adaptability will be critical. It has always been there, but this time it has proven that people, the companies who have the best business agility, uh, always will thrive, will always prosper. Uh, they can quickly adapt to any change in supply chain, consumer demand, and everything. The second sub point here is, you can have a very good business agility if you have overall a very asset light business model. The challenges with the hospitals, I can tell you, typically is they have so much, they are so asset heavy in the sense they have so much capital investment that they need to recover. So if I have developed a cancer hospital and invested so much in the radio equipments, the imaging equipments and all that, I'm under debts. And if there is no business, no visits for some months, I'm actually wiped out. I have to face liquidity. I will be so that way, if you are asset light, you can quickly change your business model. Although always the attraction is, can I make the maximum margin? In asset light means then everything is outsourced, everything is on rent, everything is on lease. The people who are giving you, of course, they are also making money, but then they are sharing your risk. And sharing risk is better than trying to keep everything with you and then face one day where everything. I mean, most of the business have been wiped out. A lot of hospital, a lot of companies, pharmaceutical companies typically, I can tell you, which are affected are the ones which were more dependent on outdoor patient. Patients are not going. Nobody is going for a routine checkup. There's no business for them. There's no prescription. There's no OPD prescription on which a pharmaceutical drug can sell. So those are the couple of things I hope I wanted to share with you. Overall, healthcare industry is one which is recession proof. There is a recession expected. There is a recession going on. Even in this recession, you can see the projection of growth. From 5.2, it may come down to some 3.6 or 3, but it will never be negative. There are some industries which may be negative. So, of course, I'll do a last minute marketing of my industry that yes, you should join the healthcare industry. Your careers are safe here because if the industry never goes in recession, definitely your career will always be growing. Yes, of course, some parts of the industry which I told you may go up and down. So you have to be intelligent, you have to be very alert, you need to be sure what you're doing and is it in line with what is the demand in the current situation. Thank you so much. Over to you, Alpaji and Rajesh.
Thank you so much, sir, for explaining each and every concept of healthcare so easily. And thank you so much for that. And I would like students to put up questions in chat box if they have any. So meanwhile, I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind if I take up those.
Sure.
So basically, you told us about the different segments, about healthcare industry. I would also like to know what are the emerging trends, that you are focused on, or you have been focused on, you have been already focused on, or will be focusing in future in healthcare.
Emerging trends. So emerging trend is more as the new normal will be more on telemedicines and the model of engaging a doctor is pretty different because now he is also not coming to clinic. He is also sitting in his home and trying. How do you engage him? Earlier it was very traditional, calling them for CME, medical conferences. Now medical conferences are also not happening. So these are interesting, but bigger trend is about the choice of a pharmaceutical company, what drugs you launch. So trend would be to launch products or do research on products which can improve the immunity, right? Or can you handle infections which are going to come in? Can you develop something which will be more preventive? So these are the emerging trends on all the aspects which I just highlighted to you. We are looking at, and did I answer your question?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. And one question is that, when everybody, few countries have claimed like Russia that they have this, invented a COVID-19 vaccine. So when do you think that we will be, have some success in this, and will be civilians, get benefit of this?
Uh,
And
the vaccine is very interesting question because this is I end up answering with many places, but let me put it this way. A slightly scientific part of it is the bugs are also very intelligent. They must be also working hard and mutating and developing something which again will hit us. The long-term solutions I see is not the vaccine, but living with it. Uh, the most, I think, the positive aspect is after exposure, we also develop immunity. That's very interesting. And there are some theories saying that why Indians are less affected or there is less mortality in India is maybe because we are exposed to influenza every season. Uh, so that way, our antibody levels, anyway, WBC levels are very high. And vaccines will be, I think, will be through 6 months, 1 year, and this vaccine development will continue because there will be one strain, then another strain, like you must have seen in many other vaccines which are available in the market. There are new and new vaccines which are coming every year. And I think there are some good companies working. The entire focus of the organization is there. The countries are there. The politician will is there. So definitely in less than 6 months, I think something will come because they have also, uh, I think, agreed on some quick approach because typically vaccine takes 1 or 2 years, but here if they you see the benefit and compromise on some of the safety because you can wait for the safety data for 6 months, but anyway people are dying, so better to give them a vaccine and take their risk. So that is.
thank you, sir. There is a question from one of the students, Aniket Varun. He's asking the question that we are in a country over 1 billion of people. Are we equipped enough to produce the vaccine in 6 months?
Yes, yes, you are lucky to have companies, fantastic companies who are leaders in vaccine. You must have heard of a company called Serum, which has collaborated with AstraZeneca. It's a global company. It is a company which is of repute. It's an Indian company. We many times underestimate Indian companies, but we are very good in biotechnology. Biotechnology, India, vaccine is all biotechnology. So biotechnology has been a today for India. We develop a lot of biotechnology products for cancer. So that way, I am very hopeful, and there is some good talent in this industry.
Okay. Uh, so there are two questions. I'll take the one. Due to COVID-19, world started depending on hospital industries. So many questions. So my question is that challenges. What are you facing in maintaining your work-life balance? This question is asked by Aniket Mukadam.
Okay, so you are facing and meeting your work-life balance. Hmm. Work-life balance. So I have started enjoying it personally. Work-life balance for me and my colleagues. We have started enjoying it because this is what we wanted: work from home, enjoying both family and work. Yes, it has taken some time. It has taken us to agree on some new norms, new understanding, mutual understanding. But yes, uh, there has to be some changes because you cannot apply the traditional way on online. Online has to be a different world. Everything has to be defined in which can work online. That is where we are working. Next question is from Nisha. Sorry, what are your thoughts about turnkey projects
Yeah.
in the pharmaceutical
Yes.
industry?
Yeah.
Turnkey projects in pharmaceutical industry. Mm, turnkey, I'm imagining you're talking about greenfield projects or new companies, new industries. Uh, there is viability of pharmaceutical industry was a challenge because of the competition from mainly China, right? Because the scale of things in China is much bigger than scale of things in India because there everything is government supported. Here, government never supported the industry. It was private who were setting up the industry. This has changed because now government has kept a budget. They have given a lot of provisions, and they are supporting the industry. So turnkey projects, there are many entrepreneurs who have already started the investment, and you will see many industries coming up in India.
Yeah. The next question is, will the virtual clinical test be more effective than the actual visiting the clinic for the clinical test? And will virtual method be more quick to diagnose disease more than the current method? This is by Bhavna.
Yes, Bhavna, yes, very much. Yes, there are, as I told you, not everything can be done virtual. There will be physical examination if it is required. Yes, you have to visit. But there are a lot of health conditions where you need to just speak to someone. Okay, I'm feeling this, I'm doing this. And on a camera, you can even show many things. But doctor can see your face, doctor can ask you. So virtual, on camera, and in with add-on monitoring devices. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you'll be just talking like me and you are talking right now, but it will be also doctor sending in some device if a test has to be done, because even that those reports would be coming in, and then that will be the true essence of virtual test.
Yes. The question from Harsh Sawant is, the pandemic situation has showcased the challenges of workload in healthcare sector. According to your insight, in the upcoming period, will you see the growth in medical staff or progress in the technology, which will enable same workforce to function more efficiently?
Very nice. This means you have very interested in the industry and you've been reading a lot. Yes, the the biggest exposure, the biggest exposed for everyone, for best of best countries, no, European, American, and all countries who have very good healthcare infrastructure, was that what have they done for the caregivers or the healthcare staff, and then they realize that okay, their healthcare staff is exposed to a lot of risk, and if they are sick, then your country is completely shaken. Training of healthcare staff, safety of healthcare staff, their work conditions, their staffing, like the ratio of how many doctors to how many patients or how many nurses to how many beds. These are things which are neglected, but this has completely now been realized that this is not something to be neglected. It will impact the country finally. I think you will see better situation, better things happening for the healthcare employees.
Yeah, I request student, if anybody's audio is on, we can hear your background sound. I'm so sorry, but it's disturbing. So if you could mute your audio. So there is one more question from Piyush. He's saying that can we expect a better healthcare in India in near future?
Yes, yes, very much. Healthcare in India is actually quality of healthcare in India is good in the region, because you can understand people come for medical tourism, come to India for a lot of. What was short is the number of facilities, because we have a large population and healthcare facilities are not available to everyone. Number of beds or things. Suddenly you see the will, if there's a will, 100 bedded, 500 bedded hospitals have been created overnight. Overnight, literally not, but yes, in months. So this is possible, and this has been done. And every chief minister, everyone is now saying that yes, quickly build up the infrastructure. Yes, so it will be much better than what it was, because it has this whole situation has given us a good learning to everyone.
We have questions from Aniket Karut saying that there are few conspiracy theories spreading in the West about the big pharma companies. So how factual do you think that they are?
So this whole pandemic is has a very good theme for yes, for discussion. Pharma companies, yes, in the past, not such something like big like this, but yes, there are all kind of companies, and many times they were involved in unethical things. So there, people always suspect that something fishy is there, something unethical is there, and even this, there are theories as stating that there can be a reason why this has been done. Somebody must be making money, or somebody does a purpose. I don't think so. Everyone got affected, and nobody uh, uh, has benefited out of it. Or relationships, like political economic relationship between many countries, like especially with China. If China was a culprit, nobody is happy with it. They have spoiled a lot of, they have lost a lot in terms of trade. I don't see a benefit there, except poor lives have been lost. Nothing has changed. Poor lives, nobody was anyway interested in those lives. That is very unfortunate.
Uh, we have a question from Aditya. How artificial intelligence will change healthcare sector in coming future?
As artificial intelligence is then to working on all the data. So right now you have data everywhere. The doctor has a lot of data. Your labs, test reports have a lot of data. You yourself have many data. You know what your parents' diseases have been. There can be some hereditary disease. So a lot of data, but then there is no intelligence. Who analyzes this data and act upon? Artificial intelligence will do all that. Devices, uh, the diagnostics, the all this has to be integrated, and there can be predictability models where things can be predicted. And you can look for what you want to look for. So artificial intelligence in that way will help the healthcare professionals to do their work very well, for patients to know about their health very well, and preventive care will be promoted in a big way.
Thank you so much, sir. I think I'll take this as the last question from Piyush Yadav. He's saying how to avoid fake news circulated regarding healthcare.
That is very good question again. Fake news, a lot of vested interest is there in circulating what is happening around us. I think best is to take advice or talk to someone who is well versed, uh, especially healthcare professionals around you. Go with it. WhatsApp is not the best way of learning about healthcare. WhatsApp is good, but healthcare things have to be understood in a holistic way. Um, it's not that one-to-one simple understanding that okay, something happened to a person will happen to me, or one needs to understand the complete picture, and then so that's what the role of a healthcare professional is. They, with their experience, they understand the holistic things, and then say what can happen to you, or what you should do, what medicines you should take. Uh, Otherwise, you may just be speculative that okay, and get into trouble. Self medication or self health advice, I request one should avoid.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, sir. On behalf of Vidyalankar, sir, I take this opportunity to thank you from the bottom of the heart for accepting the invitation and explaining as healthcare, which is definitely a sector which most students are not aware about or wanted to get into, but the opportunities and the segments and the sectors you have help us to understand where we can students can progress and they have opportunities to get into, and explaining all questions so patiently and I'm sure with more questions coming up, my students have listened to you properly and patiently. And that's thank you so much from the student side also that they have been so active in this session. And again, thank you. And we look forward for further association with you. And it was pleasure having you in this webinar, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Manish.
much.
Thanks a lot, Manish.
Thank you so much, Rajeshji, Alpha, and all the students of VSP. Interesting. Very happy to meet you all online, and always welcome. I'll always be happy to help anyone from VSP and talk to you guys anytime whenever you need. You can always ping me, message me. I'm also available on social media. Uh, so always welcome. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you, Manish. Thanks for the encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.